Someone told me recently that I post too many videos on YouTube. And I thought about that for a while. And what I came up with was, but I like too much. Somebody told me about a grandchild who put too much on his plate. And they said, no, that's too much. And he said, but I like too much. Well, that kind of applies to me in the sense that the effect of how much traction I get and how much money I might make and who's going to click and who's going to ignore actually comes in second. The first thing that I work on is how it feels to create what I'm creating and how involved I am with a kind of energy I recognize as joyous, as a real creative energy and not something driven by results. The results, I think, eventually will be connected to the spirit of the thing, but in the beginning of any creative endeavor, you have to locate the pleasure in it. You have to locate what it is about it that you really enjoy doing and doing more of it. And the more you do, the more forceful that energy becomes. And the more you get into that flow, the stronger you are as far as being creative, the more intelligent you become in the creative process, and the more personal, just emotional benefits you get out of that practice by doing it your way. So, all of the strategies and and lists of good practices. I'm not saying that they're useless. They could be a good guide, but I think that for me at least, the process involves listening and assessing how I feel when I'm creating it. And if I feel that I'm actually creating something real, something true, then I'm satisfied on that score at least. And it may very well be ignored by the world, but you never know. Um, Something may be ignored for a week or a year, and suddenly people might discover it. You never know. That I think your job is to be true. Your job is to find your creative instincts and get rooted in those. And that is quite a task. We're trained to calculate our effects and to think in terms of what works on an exterior basis. And yet, that could disconnect us from that engine inside of us that really wants to start up and get going. And that engine is something that works on a combination of factors. It works from some kind of passion. some kind of attraction, some kind of intelligence where it can construct a creative project with a good design. And that's not to be disregarded at all. That is important, but it's not the whole story. In the end, there has to be some kind of love of the process, love of doing it. And if you can find that thing, then you're on your way. And there's a lot of advice that really just ignores that as if it doesn't matter, that the only thing that matters is what the world thinks and how the world reacts to what you do. I don't think that's it, especially in the beginning. In the beginning, your job is to locate what it is you really care about, and that energy will form a force in you that has its own intelligence, its own creative intelligence, just like any creative discipline, just like writing and painting and writing poems and sculpting or whatever you're building. There is an innate intelligence in the process if you can connect to it. It's built into you. It's there. I'm not saying technical information and instruction doesn't help, because it does, but that is not the whole story of a creative endeavor. There has to be something coming from a deep part of you, and that, in the end, gives it its character and gives it its ultimate meaning. That's the way I'm going to approach doing YouTube. Something to think about.